Hey, it's Kimberly and welcome back to my channel. I make videos on all things lifestyle on a budget, and today I want to talk about grocery shopping during the quarantine and what I've been experiencing, whether shopping in a predominantly black neighborhood or shopping in a predominantly white neighborhood. I also want to share some vegan comfort meals that I have been making while in quarantine, and I'll have the recipes and everything linked down below if you want to try them yourself. Before we get into the video, if you are looking for resources for signing petitions or donating to various Black Lives Matter organizations or other organizations that deal with the injustices with police brutality, I have another video that I will link down below or up in the cards that you can check out and to follow those sources and to help out. Everybody's voice matters, and we want to do whatever we can to make sure that we are being heard. I'm shooting not in my basement for once, so there might be a lot of like cars going by action, so let's just deal with that. Fortunately for me, I have very many options when it comes to grocery stores and grocery shopping nearby. I do lead a vegan lifestyle, so I am looking for specific things, but I can generally get stuff anywhere. I decided I would take a trip out to a few towns over to the new Aldi. If you guys don't know, Aldi is this grocery store that's supposed to have like very affordable prices and stuff. For backstory, when I was in Europe, I went to Aldi all the time and I always found really good prices, very fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, all that kind of stuff. Knowing that there was a store finally in New York, I wanted to check it out. Now, where I went to go grocery shopping this day is in a predominantly black neighborhood. It's actually on the border of Queens, so I know there is a lot of foot traffic there in general. Oh, there's my cat's tail. There's a lot of foot traffic there in general, so I did recognize that it would be a little bit more crowded. What I didn't take into account is what I was going to see when I was there, and I was completely blown away. Just got here and there's like a massive line. In the past 2 months, I haven't even had to do a line in any of the grocery stores I went to, but I'm also not in my town right now, so maybe that's why. I have my list with me, and what I like to do recently is I like to create a list of things that I don't need. I feel like that helps me better because when I'm in the grocery store, I'm kind of like, oh wait, do I need this? And then I get home and I already have it. So I make a list of things I absolutely don't need and then absolute musts, and that's pretty much my list. But I do need to stock up because it's been a couple weeks now. I waited I would say about 15 minutes, and we all kept our roughly 6 feet distance. I would say roughly because some people were still like right up on you, and I was like, okay, well, I wear my mask, I have my gloves on, that's how I shop. What was really great about Aldi is that they had a security guy at the front who would wipe down the carts as they were coming back in and then pass it off to the next person. I thought that was really nice. So anyway, when I finally got into the store, I was so disappointed. Like, there just weren't that many options. And I don't mean many options as in like, oh, vegan options only. No, I just mean many options in general. Produce wasn't that much. The only kale that they had was an organic one, and it was overpriced. Now, I don't know if that Aldi is always like that. I don't know if because of the quarantine, they just don't have that much left. Something that I thought was kind of ridiculous, which I think I overreacted, but I was just kind of like, this doesn't make sense. When I finally got to the checkout, they wouldn't let you pack your groceries. They wanted you to take your groceries out the cart that you had the entire time, put it on the conveyor belt, and then the cashier would put your groceries in another one from the person previously, and then that's the cart that you would take over to the side and then put your groceries in your separate bag. It didn't make any sense, so as she was putting the stuff into the cart, I was literally taking it out of the cart and putting it in my own reusable bags, and then I left with my cart because I was like, why am I gonna touch another cart when I can just keep the cart that I have because I'm going to give it back to the guy anyway and have it clean it. It was like, there's just this extra step in there. It wasn't that big of a deal, but I just thought it was a waste of time, and also it was more work for her. Why does she need to be focusing on cleaning down carts when she's at the register? I hope they fix that. Okay, so I'm just coming from shopping there, and they really didn't have that many options. I would pretty much consider it kind of a waste. So now I'm gonna go shopping again, and I'm trying to figure out where else I should go. Okay, so I'm at Walmart because it's in the same shopping center, and hopefully we get what I need. Oh my God. It was so packed. Is this the only option that predominantly black neighborhoods have? Like, is that it? Going to Walmart because they have the lowest prices, and what they have to deal with is just insane. If this was the only place that they can go to, because again, that's all that they can afford, they had to stand out in the sun. It was super hot that day actually, and wait in line and go through all these stanchions to get into the store. I didn't even enter the store. I don't even know what was available. It can't be that much because of the fact that there were so many people there trying to get their groceries. I was more enraged in the fact that like, this is what people have to deal with. And what really was infuriating and upsetting more so was that I drove 2 towns back closer to me, and this was in a predominantly white neighborhood. I went to the King Kullen. The King Kullen looked like a desert. Right here. Looks really, really, really chill. I walked in fully stocked, everything. Fully stocked vegetables, fully stocked fruits, shelves were all stocked, and it was a cakewalk. Maybe I ran into like 10 people in the grocery store. And so I went in and got the things that I wanted, but I was just like, I wish I could go back and tell all these other people like, hey guys, come over here to these grocery stores. Like, this one is, you know, maybe a little bit further away than what you can get to, but here's so many options. And in terms of price, the price was kind of the same as Aldi. So for me to just go like 2 towns over and to just waltz into the grocery store, get what I needed and waltz out, knowing that like right over there was just chaos, was so unfortunate. And so it's just crazy because it just shows you like right in front of your eyes, you see the parallels of what's happening in a predominantly black area and what's happening in a predominantly white area. Shopping for groceries during quarantine has been really, really interesting. So I'm curious, have you guys ever noticed that? Do you only have a couple of options? Depending on like what kind of towns and areas you live in, you might only have one grocery store. So I'm interested in the experience that you guys have had. Now on to some things that I've been making during COVID, some comfort foods. Cooking the day after grocery shopping is always the best. I feel like I have so many options. I've got some Cajun kidney beans, I've got a tofu scramble, and I've got some sweet potatoes. Another one of my favorite breakfasts is to use Just Egg, which is a vegan egg replacer. Here I have some avocado, some spinach, some vegan bacon on an English muffin with some berries. Here is a vegan version of jjajangmyeon that I found on Amazon. Those are Korean noodles in a black bean sauce, or ramen in a black bean sauce. It's a Korean dish, so I'm just adding some spinach and mushrooms to it. It's so good. I'll link it down below if you're interested, and really easy to make. Here I'm using the corn meatless pieces, and I just mix it in with barbecue sauce to make some barbecue chicken. And now I'm using quinoa as my side dish that I have, and I'm going to be adding some vegetables to the barbecue mix so that I can just have like a full, well-balanced meal. This is so delicious and really easy to make. Just recently I tried the Vegan Corners pasta bake recipe. It was my first time and it actually came out really, really, really good. I added this cheese on top, and I do know that it melts really well. Someone want to explain to me the bechamel sauce or bechamel? I didn't really find the greatest purpose for it, or having done it. But anyway, this came out so good. I mean, look at that. It was so delicious. I was so proud of myself because I consider this like a more of like an intermediate. It's not hard. Everyone knows how to make pasta, but just kind of that, again, that bechamel sauce was a little bit tricky, but I am super proud of it. Comment down below some dishes that you've been making, or what are your go-to faves, or something that you might have been trying out that's new. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.